Hi, good evening, everyone. And yes, we have been following this book, the Lojong practice, the 7 points mind training. Yeah? So far we have finished the second part, and then we are on the third part of the book, of the instructions. So first part is basically just to briefly run through the first point being the precondition. Yeah? Let me just see. So firstly, it is the it's like every other thing. You know, when we want to embark on a task or in a hobby or whatever it is that that interests you. Yeah? I mean, the first thing is natural. You know? We need to have an interest to whatever that we are following. Yeah? And then to have that interest, to have the instructions as well, and then not just the instructions, but to actually have that that will to not the will, but the mindset to commit yourself to complete the task. So in this case, 7 points mind training, one should, the reason why we embark on this journey is that, first of all, we understood that this time that we have is very valuable. And then to know that it is very valuable to not make it go to waste, so to speak. To make one's time spent very meaningfully. Yeah? And then when we understand this this awareness that the opportunity or the life that we have right now, to understand that, to understand karma, basically, to understand impermanence, and then the sufferings of samsara. So this is what this motivation or this knowledge is what drives one to train in the mind trainings. So when we understand that our mind, our emotions, whatever, how we have structured our mind to be just now, it is all emotionally driven. Yeah? Whatever, when we, the moment we wake up, and then up until now, we have been doing whatever that is kind of emotionally driven. Maybe we may not be able to kind of separate what emotionally driven is, because it has been too habited in that way. We have structured the mind, or to be in that pattern. But when we understand that that is what causes the spiritual term, the word is suffering. Yeah? But suffering doesn't necessarily mean like the sufferings that we see in the world. Yeah? Suffering can also mean something very subtle. Suffering something that is always burdening the mind. Yeah? Something that something that goes through in the mind that we cannot be able to differentiate that it is only creating more and more sufferings to oneself. So this is, I guess, the understanding first of all. Yeah? So because of this, then we we train in the mind trainings. So I think the first point basically is having a little bit of knowledge, understanding, and then finding out the reason why we are taking training in the mind trainings, and to find motivation, yes, to train the mind. Mm-hmm. So that being the first point. The second point is basically bodhicitta, yeah? Relative bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. Bodhicitta basically meaning the compassionate quality of our mind. Yeah? We can call it the better quality of the mind. So when we train the mind, that quality is what we are trying to get in touch with, and then to understand it better, basically. So if I try to explain this very fast, to conclude this, the second point is that I think first of all, every sentient beings that there is one main principle that everybody has. Yeah? That is, for me, to not to suffer, and then to seek for happiness. Yeah? Even the smallest insects, when it comes to the principle of basically living or surviving, I think it comes down to this: yeah? Not avoiding all the sufferings that there is, and then wanting happiness. So in order to work on this, to understand this better, it is said that we kind of have maybe two ways of thinking, I guess. Yeah. Well, so one is basically everything we think in a selfish manner, one can say, because everything that we do, we kind of think only for yourself. Yeah, we work for yourself, and then everything that we do is the priority is basically the self. And then the other way of thinking is putting others first. Yeah, putting others as the first priority, and then putting yourself always second, you can say. So it has come to what do you call it? It has come to a conclusion, let's say. Yeah, not come to a conclusion, but when we do this mind training, we have to reflect on this too, I guess. And then when we see that when you put yourself as the first priority, and then when you compare that quality of mind with with putting others as the first priority, and then doing whatever we can in our power, be it mentally or physically, just by helping, yeah. helping mentally or physically, and then to see which of the two is which gives you more is a more rewarding feeling. Yeah? And then to so this is to make one understand that the cause of suffering is kind of comes from the feeling, not the feeling, but the concept of self-centeredness, yeah? Making the self the first priority. So this is something that we need to kind of to change the ways of, not change the ways, but to kind of see, to give yourself a chance to see from a different perspective. Yeah? So when we meditate on the mind trainings, one of the concept that we need to develop is through this reflecting on these two qualities, yeah? To see which one is more rewarding. To keep yourself as the first priority, and then to seek for happiness, and then to put others as the first priority, and then to seek for happiness, basically. Yeah? And then, like I said before, when we do this reflecting of the two concepts, if you can put two stones. Yeah? I mean, before it was done in the method of putting one pile of white stones and then one pile of black stones. So when we just meditate and reflect on the two concepts. So if you think yourself, keeping yourself as the first priority, and then if you think that is more benefiting yourself, or which brings you more happiness, yeah, to your life, then you put one. I guess that is the black stone. Yeah? So you put one black stone. It is just like finding pros and cons. Yeah? In whatever task that you do, or when you plan something, we try to go through the pros and cons. Yeah? So whatever, just to see the balance. So this is something exactly like that. It is to see the balance, I guess. Yeah? And then when we do it in that way, it kind of we're kind of forcing ourselves to see in a different pattern, to see it in a different pattern. Yeah. So it is said that the more eventually it will come down to the white stones being more, yeah? And then the black stones will slowly will become less and less and less. Yeah? But this is something that we need to train the mind with. I guess it's a method. Yeah? It's only a method, nothing more than that. Yes, I think in the old days, the yogis when they meditated in the caves, those were the methods that they used. Yeah? They picked two colored stones, and then just to analyze which one is more rewarding. More rewarding meaning which one gives you more satisfaction, or which one gives you more happiness, more meaning in life. Yes. And then yes, and then also there are so many stories that in our time, not Buddhist practitioners particularly, but then there are so many stories like this. Yeah? People who were very self-centered and very successful, who thought only about themselves, being very materialistic, because they think that comforting themselves, only themselves, will bring them happiness. Yeah? Yeah, but then, as time goes by, it kind of becomes that pattern kind of becomes meaningless, yeah? And then they want to do something more than that. Yeah? They want to find a deeper meaning, let's say. Yeah? And then the deeper meaning is always doing charity work, helping the people in need, and so on, which gives them more of a rewarding feeling, yeah? A peace of mind, I can say. So just like that, but that is in a bigger picture. But when it comes individually, then we have to analyze it, yeah? And through meditation. So when we do this kind of analyzing, we can do it in any. You can put yourself into any kind of situations. Yeah? In those days, like I said, the example, the method that they used was putting white stones and black stones, and then, but in the mind, it's so many things that is going through within the mind. Yeah? Like for instance, reflecting is something that you can. The mind is something that you can play with. Yeah? You can imagine any kind of possibilities that you can basically imagine. So one small example can be like if you just reflect on you have just won the Mach 6 lottery, yeah? And then you won the first prize, and then if you have won that, then what would you do? Or what would the follow-up be? Yeah? And you can use that to think only about putting yourself as the first priority, and then doing whatever comes to your mind, and then to see if that really brings you the happiness, yeah? or to find whether that is more rewarding, or if you do something else like helping others, or basically anything. Yeah? So you can analyze however you want it to be. So once you have done that, and then once you have convinced yourself that the one is more rewarding than the other one, then you can start to do the actual give and take meditation. Yeah? The method, give and take meditation. This give and take meditation is, like I said, it's only a method to train the mind, yeah? To give, to put ourselves in a situation so that we give a chance to the mind to see in a different perspective, yeah? Of life, of the meanings of life, you can say. So the give and take, basically, the instruction is very simple. When we inhale all the negativities, all the sufferings of all sentient beings. Yeah? And then when we exhale, you give out all the positive. Yeah? But like I said, there is nothing to conceptualize. Like when we breathe in negativity, we should not think that or burden ourselves that it will bring you actual sufferings. Yeah? Rather than, like I said, this is just a method to train the mind, yeah? And nothing more than that. Nothing more, nothing less than that. It's just a way to train the mind. So the actual practice is basically that. You give and you take, but with the understanding that it is more rewarding to benefit others. So when we keep doing this, what actually happens is we are not. This is in my understanding, that it is not actually going to send out happiness and then create happiness in the outside world, but rather what is happening is that it is it's kind of slowly changing the patterns of our habited mind. Yeah? So that is when we sit down in the actual meditation posture, we try to meditate in that manner. And then in the post-meditation is when we actually finish the meditation, and then when we go on with our everyday lives. And then in the post-meditation, we try to still be influenced by the meditation that we did. Yeah? So when we go on in our everyday lives also, you kind of be influenced with the meditation, with the give and take meditation, just by having full of gratitude within yourself. Yeah? When you see other people, and then to have that kind of gratitude towards other people, because kind of to tell yourself that it is because of there are other people that we are able to train in the mind trainings. Yeah? So kind of if you think of it in a different way, then the other people kind of becomes like your tutor. Yeah? Someone who is giving you an object that we can practice give and take. So basically, to have that kind of gratitude towards others, basically to everything that is around us, yeah? Even for foods or for drinks and so on. Basically to have a gratitude to everything. And then the third point is kind of like the post meditation. And the third point is implementation. Yeah, to imply, because this is also it's kind of like what we do in the post meditation, I guess. So I guess I'll just read this from here because it explains yes, perfectly. For instance, if we are happy, this is in the post meditation, yeah? Not when we are meditating. If we are happy, enjoying a good life, we should know that this is the result of the positive karma accumulated in the past. It's in page number 55, if you can just read it from there. As we see good karma ripening, we should make a wish that as I am happy, may all sentient beings be happy as I am. So it's basically like what you did in the give and take meditation. Yeah? But this is in the post meditation. Whatever you are experiencing, whatever you're going through, I think in a very aware mind quality, yeah, like a little bit in an awakened state. We try to tell ourselves, remind ourselves again and again and again. So I guess that is how we do it. So I guess in this we really need to have a very strong sense of karma. So whatever we are experiencing now, be it a very happy moment, or a moment or life, or whatever you're experiencing, or be it the opposite of that, it's to know that this is the past accumulation from the past, yeah, and then to know that ripening moment, yeah. If you can see it as a ripening moment, then we, if we make dedications as well, dedications meaning just now the exchange of good and bad. Yeah? That can be done in a very sincere way, I guess. The quality. Yeah? So just like that, if it's the opposite of what I just explained, it's it can be vice versa. Yeah? If you're happy, then we understand that this is the accumulation of my past, and then whatever it is that you are experiencing, that ripening of karma, you kind of give it to, you share it with all sentient beings. Yeah? Then whatever negativity or unpleasant experiencing that you're experiencing, and then also to understand that this is just an accumulation from the past. The karma is ripening now. So when it is ripening now, may all sentient beings suffering end with this ripening of the karma that you are experiencing now. So to understand karma also, obviously it happens from the past, which is not in our control. Yeah? So when it is ripening at the present moment, we can use that very cause, use the cause, and then to change it for a different cause. Yeah? We can change it in a positive cause, or we can either change it to experience that ripening in a negative cause as well. Yeah? And then to know that in the future, whatever accumulations in the past, in the future, that will ripen in the future. Yeah? So when we're going through negative experiences, and then when we understand that the negative karma from the past is ripening now, and then what we do with now, if we can change that cause, and then make that the previous karma's causes that is ripening now, we can change the cause to a more to a positive karma, let's say. Yeah? So when we're feeling down, when we're not feeling when we're experiencing something not pleasant, then if we bring in emotions like anger or hatred or something like that, then it only makes the karma more heavier and heavier. Yeah? But instead of that, if we can just use this give and take method, whatever we are experiencing, yeah? We take that method, then the cause becomes also something positive for the future. Yeah? And then if we keep doing that, then all the negative karmas can be uprooted from within our minds. With that much information, I think also we can be able to do some meditation as well. Yeah? And then I guess when we do this meditation, first I think it is to kind of reflect on your own life and to see where you have come. How you have kind of structured yourself to be, within the mind, yeah? With the concepts on how we perceive things, how we perceive emotions, and so on. Yeah? Just to reflect on that, and then to reflect on the valuable time that we have. Yeah? Yes, and then the bodhicitta, yeah? kind of after we have reflected on that with a very calm mind, and then to kind of look inward yourself to see the two qualities. First, to differentiate the two qualities. The compassionate quality that we have, and then the not very compassionate quality of our mind. And just to just so that you can see them clearly. You can understand, you can recognize the two qualities. So once we have recognized the compassionate mind, then you simply try to reflect on the like the example that I gave at that time, the like winning of the lottery, let's say, or if you want to do it, you can put yourself into any other situations, any kind of conditions. The mind can be very unlimited. It is unlimited. You can put yourself into any kind of situations. You can imagine yourself as kings or queens, or a very famous celebrity, or anything that there is, or even as a Buddha, or anything. And then the idea is to find the two qualities, the way of the concept. Putting yourself as the first priority, or putting others as the priority, and then to see which one is more rewarding, to which one has more meaning, and so on. And then once you have kind of got a clear understanding on that, then you try to do the give and take meditation. Then the give and take meditation, I guess that is the main point here, because like I said that time, we are giving ourselves a chance to see in a different perspective, and then to get in touch with that quality of mind, that way of like how the bodhisattvas perceive this world, basically. So we are kind of giving ourselves the chance to see it like a bodhisattva, yes, and that is how we train the mind. Okay, so we can try to do a little bit of a group meditation practice. So basically, what I said just now, you can take your own time, and then if you can try to keep within that the flow, yes, the flow of your meditation within the instructions. This was you have some idea of the mind training. And then the other points of mind training, which we will cover in the other classes, I think it's mostly talking about afterwards, on how we basically how we deal with our everyday lives, how we perceive and then how we respond to whatever is put in front of us. That how we should carry ourselves with those kind of experiences, and then with what kind of methods that we should try to use our awareness. But for the actual sitting down and then doing the meditation, I think this is basically it. And then that time when we said that when we're trying to find the two qualities which is more rewarding, it doesn't necessarily have to be when we choose one scenario, and then when we try to, because we know that it is more rewarding to benefit others. We already kind of have that that understanding. But still, even so, we should always try to play with both ideas. For example, if putting the self as the first priority, that concept, is we should try to use that as much as we can. I mean, because we are trying to really understand it. Then to really understand it, maybe we can take it very far away. Yeah? Take it very far away, meaning, how do I say this? Like, let's say, you win the lottery again. Yeah? This is an example. And then you tend to look after only yourself. You buy the most, only the good quality things just for yourself, and then you can take it to, like, if you won the lottery when you were 30 years old, then you can take it to until when you are 90 years old, something like that. And then because, like I said, there's no limit with our imaginations. When we do that, naturally that understanding, whatever understanding that we have, it just becomes more and more understanding, more and more wisdom. We can call it wisdom too. Wisdom that we gain from this kind of reflecting. And then, like the same with the other concept, we can take it to the furthest that we can. When we do that, again, we'll only get more information, more wisdom from this kind of reflecting. And then not just to do it like very short, not to do it because you understand that making the self, putting the self priority will not bring you, the ultimate happiness. Then trying to put that aside and then just focusing on the other quality. But then doing both equally, like I said, it is. I mean, the result of this should be we getting as much as information from our knowledge.